DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts.
Dewey Duck makes his approach. Word has it he's got a new move, the triple corkscrew.
It's the week of Monday, June the 18th, and you're listening to episode 28 of DuckTalks. I still don't know who Marshmallow is.
That's your intro?
That's not my intro. But that's where we're starting, apparently.
That was a pretty good intro.
It was a good intro. Are we going to talk about Marshmallow? Did you watch the Marshmallow video? Pirate?
I didn't know it went live yet. I know I've seen. I try to be hip and cool with the kids, and know who Marshmallow is. I know he has a marshmallow head. That's about it. That's all I got.
Well, this week we probably won't talk a lot about Marshmallow, but apparently that's DuckTales news. Hey, thanks for joining the show. This is DuckTalks, and we're here to talk about DuckTales. We enjoy talking about the new show that's been rebooted. We like to talk about Disney Afternoon and all those old shows that we grew up with. That's right. For the most part, we're in our 30s, but we like to talk about cartoons. It's not weird. People tell me it's fine. They always give me this funny look, but they tell me it's fine.
Which people are that?
In my support group. I'm throwing that out.
No, I like that. Because it's true.
It's true. It's funny because it's true. And my name's Mitch. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me tonight is my buddy Pirate Steven.
Ahoy there. I'm Pirate Steven, and this is apparently a live show, and I'm excited to be here. We got duck stuff to talk about.
Lots of duck stuff to talk about. We've also got Josh here with us to talk about it as well.
Hey guys! Woohoo!
Well, this is a live chat, so we're going to be talking with the chat as we go, and we've got a few people who have already joined us. So, hey to everyone in the chat. We appreciate you being here. Looks like Pink Pearl Apple has another audience with her listening, so that's cool. We appreciate y'all sitting in and listening to us talk about DuckTales. You guys ready to jump into an email?
Let's do it.
We really appreciate all the emails that we get from everyone, and we've been trying to keep up with those and to communicate back with people because we're getting a lot of questions about the show and about merchandise, a lot about merchandise, and we really appreciate that. I guess that helps us understand that should be a big feature of our podcast since there are so many questions about merchandise. And of course, we have new merchandise news this week, so we'll be talking about that. This email is from Lee, and Lee says, I wonder if you know if Poe Dispel, Magica Dispel's brother, will be on the 2017 show. If so, will he be a Raven in this show? And will Magica Dispel try to get Scrooge's number one dime so she can change him back like in the 1980s show? And do you know if he is the father of Lena Dispel? And he's got a couple of other questions, so we'll look at those in a minute. But we get a lot of questions about Magica. I think a lot of people felt like that storyline kind of got left, but it's all been part of the plan. It's just been the hiatus that's made it feel like it's been stretched out over 5 months because it might have been stretched out over 5 months. But yeah, Magica is definitely after the number one dime. We don't know why, and we did get a new episode this week that we're going to talk about a little bit later in the podcast. We definitely got a little bit better of an idea of what's going on between Magica and Lena. It's possible, we've said this since the beginning, it's definitely possible that Lena is Poe's daughter. So we may see that. What do you guys think?
I mean, that's what Aunt Magica means. So, like, Magica is the brother or sister of somebody that parented Lena. So it makes very well sense that Poe is her father. The actress that did the voice of Lena, according to IMDb, voiced the character for 4 episodes. We just saw her 3rd episode this past week, Jaws, which is incredible, and we'll talk about it later. A lot was revealed. I think this is the most we've heard Magica talking from all the episodes. So we have one more episode with Lena that I think will be the big reveal episode. That's gonna be the 4th episode with Lena in it. So I feel like that one is gonna be a big tell of who she really is and why she's helping Magica. In this Jaws episode, Magica is kind of like, you see that she is a prisoner to Magica, and that Magic is only helping her for a reason, something her heart desires. We know freedom would be one, but also the love of her dad to help save him, I'm sure, is another good reason. So I think the person that sent the email in definitely knows what they're talking about, and shadowing that we're going to see. I don't think we'll see Poe at some point, because there was nobody on IMDb as to be the voice of Poe. That's what kind of like my hints of what's coming down the line. Mm-hmm. But maybe in the 2nd season. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's kind of where my mindset was going so far from before this episode. Was I kind of got the feeling that she was doing this for a reason, and I was thinking that it was to either get her dad back, or even if her dad is a raven like it was in the previous show, get turned back into a human, or not really human, I guess it would be a duck, return back to a duck. That was kind of my mindset, and it kind of changed a little bit with this episode. I know we're going to talk about this a little later, and I'm not sure if it was if her heart's desires to just be free of that, or her father. But to me, I was thinking that it was going to be Poe was why her motivation behind helping her Aunt Magica, because she didn't seem like super wanting to help her, but she was like, okay, fine, your family, and I'm going to do this because I have my own reason.
And didn't we see some kind of screenshot from a trailer for the rest of the season where there is a crow-like character?
We did.
Flying in the sky with Webby or something like that, Mitch?
Well, there was the
Black Heron.
Yeah, and I think that's an official name. I think we've seen that on some of the production material. But there was another scene in one of the previews that showed.
Was that an episode before?
Raven. No, it's an episode that hasn't.
Or something coming up.
Yeah, I think that's
something's coming up. It was in a trailer for the second half of the season.
I think that's going to be the other money bin of Scrooge.
Black Heron that is flying through the sky with Webby, and she looks like a crow. So yeah. I don't know if this is Lena or somebody else, but maybe they reversed it, and it's not Poe is the sister or something, and she's a raven. We don't know this, but I feel like the 4th Lena episode is going to be more information than the big reveal that we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I had muted my mic, so I was trying to talk, and I was like, why do they keep talking over me? Josh pointed out in the chat, thanks. Yeah, I was trying to answer you guys. I apologize. But yeah, it is I think it's the second money bin of Scrooge McDuck is the episode that Black Heron will show up in. And there is production, we have seen some images of production materials that have her name on it. So I think that's going to be like a spy character. And it may not be that episode. It may be the spy episode with Miss Beakley. I don't know. It's one or the other that character will show up. Yeah, Agent 22. I can't remember that title because it's the one that's not listed on IMDb right now. But yeah, and Lena has also mentioned that, when she was talking with Magica about her, and Magica was the one saying her freedom and your heart's desire. Yeah, the case files of Agent 22. Thank you, Pink Pearl Apple, in the chat. When Lena was talking about, what she wants, it does seem like it's a bigger, not only does she want her freedom, she wants a break away from whatever this magic is doing to her family. And I think that is going to be a tie-in to what has happened to her father. Because she made the comment at some point in this latest episode that the magic has done nothing but bad stuff for their family, or every time we use magic, it causes bad things, or something like that. So I think Poe, there's a connection for Poe. Lee went on to ask, and do you know if Ludwig von Drake is Scrooge's brother? I always wanted to know that ever since Donald Duck said that they were both his great uncles. And Pirate, I think you looked this up because you answered him by email.
Yeah, so Don Rosa, I got to meet him at a MegaCon convention. One of the prints I bought from him was the Duck family tree. And I actually noticed this as well and pointed it out and asked him about it. And that family tree has a knot tied between Ludwig von Drake and Scrooge McDuck's sister. So that would make Ludwig von Drake his brother-in-law. So that's the answer to that. If the comics is in your lore of what you consider to be canon, Ludwig von Drake would be Scrooge McDuck's brother-in-law.
And that seems to be something that I would expect the DuckTales crew would pull in, because we know we're going to get Ludwig von Drake at some point. They've already talked about him, and that he's going to have a cool part. So, and he may show up in that Agent 22 episode. I'm a huge James Bond fan, so I'm hoping we get a lot of references like that, because they've already mentioned that he's like Scrooge's Q from back in the day. So, be cool.
Yeah, I brought out the print, and it says that he married Matilda, who is Scrooge McDuck's sister.
Well, Lee, we appreciate that email, and if anyone wants to send us an email, you can send that to ducktalkspod@gmail.com. Pirate and I are both taking a look at those. We try to answer them as timely as we can. As a matter of fact, most people that respond to us after we've responded to them say that we're very quick, so we appreciate that feedback. It means we can take it easy. We don't have to be so quick to answer. Just kidding. But send those emails. We enjoy that, and we'll definitely read them unless you tell us not to. If you don't want your email or your question read on the podcast, let us know. Let's take a moment before we get into the next item on our news. Actually, this is an email as well, but let's pause in between emails. Just like to remind everyone that whatever podcatcher you're using to listen to the show, we would really appreciate it if you take a moment and either give us a rating. I know most podcatchers do like a star rating. Give us a rating, and if you feel so kind, give us a review. That really helps people find the podcast, because I know with Apple, I use Apple's podcasting app to listen to podcasts, and a lot of what I find is based on reviews. So that's going to be our number one way of reaching out to people who aren't already finding us on Twitter. We hit a milestone on Twitter this week with 300 followers, so we really appreciate that. And the website continues to have great traffic. We really enjoy seeing all the people who come through, and we see some of the searches. Some of the search engines share that information with us, so we're able to see what brought people to the website. And so we really appreciate everyone coming to DuckTalks.com to find information. But if you could do that, if you could give us a review or either give us a rating, that helps people find the podcast. We have another email, and I'm not going to read the content of the email, but Jared sent us a message letting us know a few weeks back we brought up the question of the production order of the second half of DuckTales, and we actually did tweet out to Frank Angones, who answered us and said that the production order wasn't out there, but it was approved. So I don't know if maybe that was different from the first half of the show, or if maybe it was approved the first half, or I don't know whether or not it was approved on the first half. But we do know that it was approved for the second half. But Jared found on DisneyABCPress.com the listing for the production order, so we can actually see up to the episodes that have aired. So Mystery at McDuck McManor was 11, and The Spear of Selene was 12, and Morshire was 13. Buddy System was 14. So far that's in order. 15 was Day of the Only Child. So there's been some talk online about a quiz that's on the Disney Now app right now, and about Day of the Only Child there were questions in there, and it was supposed to be for episodes that aired in May. Well, this was supposed to have aired earlier, but it's scheduled to air on the 30th of this month now. 16 was Jaws, the episode that aired this week, and then 17 is the Golden Lagoon of White Agony Plains, which is the episode that is scheduled to air next week, the 23rd, and that's the episode that will introduce everyone to Goldie. So that's cool. There is a place for us to go and see what the production order was, but Frank did say that the order that they're going to air will not impact the story at all. Whereas in the first half it didn't impact the story, but it did kind of mess up the flow of our introductions to characters. And at DuckTalks.com we have a blog where we listed Frank's original production order, so people could watch the episodes in that order. And I highly recommend it. Even if you've seen the episodes a few times, watching them in the production order, you really get a better sense of what they were trying to do as they introduced everyone. Jared, we appreciate you sending that, and we appreciate your email. Thank you. Pink Pearl Apple says in the chat, I have now read The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck. I want his sisters to appear. They were hilarious. I haven't read that yet. I'm looking forward to getting a hold of it one of these days, and but I don't have $150 to drop on it yet.
Yeah, the only way to currently get it is if you buy Volume 4 and Volume 5 from the Don Rosa collection. It's broken out into two different ones. So that's the only way you can get a complete, all 12 of the issues, the complete Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, and I think those books are like $30-something retail, or at least I've seen them for sale for $30.
That's correct.
And you can buy them on Comixology. I know that Comixology have had the digitals on sale before for like $20, so it cost you $40 to get the two books that include the stories included in Life and Times. So that's probably a pretty good deal that we should keep an eye out for, so that we can share that. I know we shared it the last time it was on sale, and I didn't buy it because I was still trying to decide if I wanted to buy the physical books, because they're really nice. They're large hardcover books. I've seen them at my local Borders. Not Borders. Borders is closed. I've seen them at my local Barnes & Noble. They've got the same... It's not really an issue. They've got the same volume that they've had for the last year. Obviously, nobody's bought it.
I've seen them at my local library as well. So they're out there, and I definitely recommend people to find it. And it's good lead into that. There's a Scrooge McDuck mystery documentary about Don Rosa and his work. So... I would definitely check that out as well if you want to get all your knowledge of Uncle Scrooge and the comics, because we love the comics as well. It's a great addition to the TV shows. And I lost my thought there, but
well, and that's one of the things that we really love about the new DuckTales is that it incorporates not only the show that we grew up with, and also the comic stories that branched from that show, but also the material of Carl Barks and Don Rosa. So you're getting, they're trying to kind of cherry pick their favorite parts of all of the DuckTales, or let me back up, all of the parts of Donald Duck / Scrooge McDuck / DuckTales. We want to, for those purists out there, we know what came first.
Yeah, I mean, there's signs out there that say this is not DuckTales, so we don't want to make anyone mad.
Yeah, ours says DuckTales likes Don Rosa. DuckTales does like Don Rosa, but Don Rosa doesn't like the DuckTales love. Although I think Pirate may have found a chink in his armor.
It's true.
It would be great to find out that him and Frank and Gomez and Matt had some kind of summit, a coming together, and then they can trace it back to you, kind of like how Frank's getting toys because of you two.
Well, if Frank would just be my friend on Twitter and follow me, we could work. We could exchange DMs and work everything out, and he could have this knowledge of the internet that I'm obsessively plugged into, and I get all these experiences I could share with them. But you know what? We'll get there one of these days, Frank, and we'll have you on the show. And yeah,
we'll
tell
talk
you
about whatever you want. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
DuckTales.
We'll talk about all the cool hookups we can get you to. So
Yeah. You want to give?
But yeah, I sent that article to him about my experience with Don, and I don't know if he liked it or retweeted it. So I don't know if he read it.
You said he didn't retweet it?
No.
Okay.
No. He retweets or likes every one out of every 8 or 10.
He gets a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
But mine are really good.
Yours are really good. Hey, and kind of a side note, I saw that Aaron Sparrow posted that something special is going to happen at Dragon Con for Disney Afternoon. It's probably just another panel, but it's got me pumped about going.
Can I give you my guess because I like crystal balls and stuff?
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if you remember Aaron on Instagram or Twitter. He said that Barry McGurvin we randomly texted him.
You're right.
So what if it is that there's a panel and Pad's going to be there? So you better be there to cover that event.
Well, and I tried to hint to him on Twitter that I wanted to know what day, and he's not DM'd me. So, I mean, I thought I was in, but apparently not.
So that's my great guess.
I think that's a great guess. If they're putting that together, who knows who will be there?
This month at some point is going to be, and around the country already released, is a 10-inch version of Scrooge McDuck Swimming in Money, which I've seen a couple of screenshots online. It looks great. I don't know where a lot of people are going to put this when they get it, but it looks great.
Yeah, I think it looks massive.
So I would just check your local targets when I think it's supposed to be late June where it gets the global release, but it most likely will appear online as well. So just stay tuned to our Twitter feed and we'll let y'all know when it's available. It's gonna be $29.99, which is a lot of money, but this thing is this is a massive statue. So you're getting a really cool figure for that price.
Yeah, it's huge. Did you guys share that picture of the size of it?
No, I was kind of waiting to take my own whenever I get it because I'll probably have the 10-inch one next to the regular, next to the mystery mini. The mystery mini one's gonna look tiny next to
it. Yeah, we need a picture of the mystery mini one next to the 10-inch.
Welcome to the chat, Kahuna Potato. So we'll look at, let's move on. That's everything on the emails. We've just barely gotten to the news.
Oh yeah, go ahead, news. Wow, just do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, so we got one news item that we have in notes, but I think we probably have more to talk about. But as far as our news goes, we've got some news that a lot of DuckTales fans are excited about. I know that ever since I posted the blog, people have been excited and sharing it. But we may have gotten our first glimpse at Doofus. Have you guys seen this yet?
I have seen it. And I read the show notes. I knew this was coming up.
It's not a surprise to you?
I was surprised on how he looks to me. Because, I mean, obviously he looks like Doofus. But he looks more sinister to me than what I expected him to. I know we had I talked about previously in one of the other podcast episodes of how we hope Doofus was more of a villain type than the goofball thing, and it kind of looks like he might be.
Yeah, we had talked about it before. I was bringing up that they could make him kind of an antagonist to Huey in the Woodchucks. And I thought that would be a lot of fun. And it definitely looks like, I don't think he's a woodchuck. He looks a little older than that. But let's talk about where this came from. And then we'll ease into talking about this very sour-looking Doofus. So on Disney Now, the app, there are a number of areas in this app. You could spend hours in this app, apparently, because I didn't even know there was a quiz section. Apparently there is. If you go into the quiz section, there is a new quiz each week, and they have multiple quizzes for various shows. And they had a quiz this week for DuckTales Trivia, the May episodes. And so in this quiz, there were a couple of questions that were about an episode that did not air in May. That's the episode we already talked about, Only Child. It's going to air on the 30th. But to this quiz, this episode has already aired. So there was a question about who claimed to be Donald's best friend. And the obvious answer was, for anyone who watched the episode, Storkules. But it also included an image of Celine and of an unknown character who does look a lot like Doofus with a comb over. And in this image, he's got a very sour face. So there's a lot of speculation that it may, in fact, be Doofus. And I think it is.
I think it is, too. And I feel like, just like Glomgold, this would be a major redesign of the character from the DuckTales 1987 version. And I love it. I feel like, I mean, they don't really need to add any more good guys to the lineup and recurrent characters. I feel like having a Doofus episode where he is a antagonist, maybe like the other Junior Woodchuck guide counselor or something, where he's trying to go against Huey and group would be fun. But yeah, I like how they're not just doing straight up Doofus for this one.
Yeah. And I think like how Doofus was in the original show, he was goofy. They kind of made fun of him, and he was still their friend, but he always was like mess things up. And I don't know. I don't see that kind of character in the new show, and so I feel like the redesign is going to be welcomed. I don't know how the hardcore DuckTale fans are going to take it, but I think it's a good step in the right direction. And hopefully when we see him, that the changes, if whatever the changes they give him, will kind of highlight the character a little bit better in this series.
I hope the Duck Blur podcast is acceptable for this Doofus, because I know they're like Doofus's biggest fans.
All I have to say about this is I can get on board with this change as long as at some point in the show he finds an alien donut and becomes Super Do. That's all I ask. I mean, it just has to happen.
I feel like at that point of the 1987 DuckTales, they were running out of ideas, and maybe one of the writers ate a weird donut and had bad dreams, and that is where that episode came from. We could strike that from the records.
He's flying around in his pajamas.
In his wool pajamas.
Yeah, somebody was tripping when that episode was made. But I mean, I would love, because in the Doofus episodes, he was kind of like Launchpad's buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be funny if he was going against Launchpad in a Junior Woodchuck type atmosphere. I think that'd be good comedy relief, better than the Doofus Falls Down comedy that they were trying to get in the 87 version.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, maybe he could also be, and I think I saw this in our chat earlier today. For people who don't know, the chat that we keep referencing is at Res TV's Discord, and we have people in there talking about DuckTales all the time. And I believe it was earlier today there were a few people talking about Doofus and the possible changes. And there's a theory out there that Doofus may be a rival for Dewey, and that kind of reminded me of my whole idea of him being a rival for Huey. But what if Doofus wants to be Launchpad's sidekick still? And so his rivalries against Dewey. Dewey's not going to take that.
No, I wouldn't go against Dewey in anything. So Dewey'd win for sure.
Well, he'd sick Webby on him. I see the chat was bringing up Gus Goose. I don't get the reference. That's going to have to be a comic thing, I'm sure. Yes, Pink Pearl Apple brought up that in 87 Doofus married Webby. Josh sent me that. I had forgotten about that, and one day he sent me a picture from that episode, and it totally brought back those memories because Doofus and Webby are married, and the boys are getting someone out of jail or something, and their heads look exactly the same, but they're taller.
Yeah, but then they have all like deep voices,
and they're wearing suits, I think. But yeah, that was an episode of DuckTales. I don't remember which episode. It's something about one of the characters went in the future.
Oof,
Duck to the future.
Running out of ideas.
It was Scrooge that went in the future because he had disappeared until they had taken over the company and followed his advice to be like to not really care about anybody.
Oh, I see. I don't think that's on any of my DVDs. If it is, I need to pull that one out and watch it. But yeah, Kahuna Potato says those adult designs are the worst. I agree. Magica trapped him in the future. That's what Pink Pearl Apple says. Evil donut. That's good.
I just made a meme about our evil donut conversation in the chat.
Dude, that was fast.
Faster than Doofus with his evil donut. So I had also seen that this Doofus is expected to show up in the episode that's coming up on the 30th, The Only Child. So because it was in the quiz. So that's the expectation. So by the end of the month, we may have more Doofus in DuckTales.
Maybe Doofus is the only child. Yeah.
Well, that's enough of Doofus. We'll have some more. That's how everybody felt about Doofus, right? Growing up, I remember liking Doofus. But I know a lot of people hate on Doofus now. I think it's time for Duck merch.
Duck merch. Woohoo.
Woohoo. That was a much better woohoo than mine earlier.
Well, Pirate was talking about standing in front of a mirror practicing. That's what he practices.
Oh man, wait till my carpool karaoke singing DuckTales with the sun stashes is coming. Don't worry. I practice every day.
The girls and I have been practicing Eye to Eye. We're going to do Eye to Eye with the sun stashes. I know it's not a duck song, but they love it.
I want to see the perfect cast.
While I'm driving in the car.
Yeah. Why are you trying?
All right, I got to find a parking lot.
Why not? Okay, that's dangerous. Never mind.
Eye to Eye is awesome. We listen to the Goofy movie soundtrack all the time. My girls love it. Hey, Casey. Welcome to the chat. So let's talk about some Target. I don't know. We can't call it leaks. It's not a leak because it was in the store. We stumbled upon some Target duck merch. So here's the story. I'm in a Target. It's not my normal Target. Just kind of walking around. Family's just doing the shopping thing. We're over towards the electronics area, and I happen to look over, and in the children's bedding area, there's a square head that's kind of white with a red ball cap on. And there's no question in my mind what that has to be. But at the same time, my mind's reeling because there's not supposed to be anything at Target, right? I get over there, and sure enough, there's a Huey plush, and this thing's massive. Like, the head is bigger than 10 inches by 10 inches because it's a square. The design's a little off. It's different looking. It's definitely not the Disney plush. No one accidentally left their stuffed animal. And so I immediately pull out my phone, start taking pictures and posting it on Twitter because that's the kind of guy that I am now. But
you're a sharer.
We're a share. I want people to know that they should get in their car and drive out to Target. Well, I apologize to all the people who did that because apparently their register locked and you can't get them until July. But it is something that Target will be carrying in the near future.
It's weird that they register lock these because I mean when I think of things that are register locked, I think of like Funko items where people are like out to get these things before they're released because they're like highly collectible. And in these plushes is something that they register lock. It's kind of funny. You wouldn't think that this would qualify under something that's like register locked.
And this is perfect for DuckTales to go into. I mean, I live like 0.1 miles away from Target. It is so close. When I go there, I exactly the aisle you're talking about. It's the kids' pillow, like a buddy pillow, and they also will sell a plush throw with the character, and then they have sheets. So I don't think you saw sheets there, but my guess is that there will be sheets, a whole bedding set of sheets, the plush blanket that you also saw, and the Huey pillow will be a set that they'll have at Target.
Yeah, it is labeled a plush blanket, and it was 62 inches by 90 inches, and the image shows it across, like a single bed, or maybe a twin, probably a twin size. But I didn't even notice the blanket at first because I took those pictures and we went on, and a few seconds later, somebody was asking me, hey, are those from Fat Mojo? And I was like, you know what? I didn't even think to look. I just took a picture of the front of the tag. So I went back to get an image of the tag, and it's a company that's either EPC or ECP or PEC. I don't know. It's a square. I put that I believe it's EPC. It says J. Franco and Sons Incorporated did them, and it is officially licensed by Disney. Of course, it's in Target. It's officially licensed. But so yeah, I got that, and I'm standing there, and I look up, and above it is the plush blanket, and I couldn't believe that was even there. But yeah, so $19.99 on the plush, and then $24.99 on the plush blanket. No idea if there's going to be more than Huey at this point. There were 2 Hueys in that store, and to add to the story, later in the weekend, I ended up having to drop into my local Target because I was not at my local Target before. When I dropped in my local Target, we had none of this. Nothing was on the shelves.
I'm just gonna say right now that Huey will be the only one, because that space is all. It's not a whole plush section. They're only gonna have room for one character per line that they carry for the bedding section. So my guess is that it's just gonna be Huey, and that they'll have that blanket and sheets, and I definitely am gonna get them for my kids' full size bed if they have that. I know, and we're going to talk about other merchandise too, that adults want king size DuckTales sheets, and where's our stuff? But I'm going to get them for my kids, but where's our stuff,
They're probably only, twin size?
Yeah, probably twin or full, my guess.
Yeah. I think I shouldn't have got rid of my full size bed.
I definitely would like to have a plush blanket more my size.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfect. I mean, if you're not even sheets, the design, it says all man, which is the saying that the triplets do, the nephews, and they have good color design on it. So I feel like that is perfect plush throw for someone snuggling up late on a Friday night waiting for Disney On Demand to the newest DuckTales episode at midnight. With their blanket, or that's how I would use it.
Oh, definitely. I'm just reading through the chat. They're having a good time without us right now. They're talking. They're talking about board games, DuckTales board games, like DuckTales Monopoly. With a Scrooge theme. I could see that being popular. It's something we would buy and play. Someone else mentioned
Sorry,
Clue.
Clue. Clue would be a good one.
Think about the DuckTales Clue game. Who killed Duckworth?
They can make it based off the mystery at McDuck Manor.
And
you should have had Mitch try to say it.
Don't say what?
Mystery at McDuck Manor.
Yeah, I hate that show or that episode. I hate the name of that episode. Mick Mystery at McDuck McManor. Well, the McManor.
It has a McManor?
Yeah,
I
it
said it
does.
wrong, man, too.
Yeah. We've also got in the chat, we've got Don't Wake Daddy, except it's Donald and the triplets, so it would be Don't Wake Donald. I'd buy all these. I love these ideas. Game of Life, DuckTales edition. I really like the Monopoly idea. I think Monopoly screams, make a DuckTales version. Good times in the chat. Hey, we also had some pajamas come out at the Disney store, right?
Yeah, they had previously had short sleeve pajamas for kids, and now they have long sleeve for the winter.
Yeah, and we've already had some people ask if they came in adult sizes, and sadly, no.
Yeah, or do they come in really large kid sizes? Says some people could fit in the largest kid size, but I think the largest kid size was like 8'10" or 9'10".
Maybe that's a challenge we need to do. We need to get a hold of the largest kid sizes and see if we can get them on.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work here.
I'm probably the only one that can fit in that. I'm pretty small.
Probably get them on my head.
I know people want adult sizes of the pajamas and the clothing line. There's only been a couple adult shirts in the clothing line on Disney Store, but I'm really looking for the fun fan art designs for like a T Fury or a T Public or Rip T, the daily shirts. I've been really looking for some DuckTales shirts there.
And we'll share those when we come across them.
You can design some pajamas for adult sizes.
Yeah, I was saying that today. They could have duck feet pajamas. I'd wear that. That's cool.
Kuna Potato's asking, where's the DuckTales shirt contest? We need one. So, like, design a shirt?
Yeah, people. A lot of websites will have that. It's a good way to get product out there without having to spend a lot of money to designers to design it. They get the community to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's gonna. I feel like there was at a point, and I know you all remember starving for merchandise. When's it coming? And now we're like over flooded with it. So it's hard to keep up now, but I love it.
Yeah, it is definitely hard to keep up. We were talking about it before we started recording. Just there's so much news coming out, and like we had something else planned to talk about tonight. We were going to spend a lot of time on Kingdom Hearts, and that episode will come. But we just had too much information that just hit us today and over the weekend to not cover these items. So to have room to talk about a video game that's coming out at the beginning of next year. So we will eventually get to Kingdom Hearts because we're curious. Josh and I cannot figure out this game, and we found an expert to explain it to us. And we're trying to decide whether or not to buy the collector's edition or to just buy the 3 games. So if you guys have any input on that, email us and give us your thoughts. Kahuna Potato says that she's still trying to figure it out too.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 when they first released on PS2. And then I haven't really dove into all the other little releases they've had since then. So I have the PS4 version, new remastered versions of those. So I need to get some time to play through those before January 29th when the new one comes out, because they're like 60-hour games. So if you're gonna do it, we got a lot of time to play through them before the new one's out. Of course, then the Spider-Man game will come out. Red Dead.
Yeah, lots of good stuff coming.
I am done pre-ordering games though. I am going to wait until it's out. I may not wait for a sale, but I've been bitten. I've just gotten into gaming in the last few years. I was a gamer as a kid, then I stopped gaming for a while, and I've not been very pleased with my pre-order experiences. So I'll wait till it's out, and I'll probably buy the digital. I think I'm ready to just make that change.
Kingdom Hearts 3 pre-order and Amazon 4 years old when it's finally released.
we talked about that last week and about how Patrick celebrates his pre-order every year.
Yeah. Yep. Because I convinced him to buy it too. We were like, because Amazon mispriced it, and I think it was like $39.99 when they put it out there, and they haven't changed the order on it yet. Amazon, if you're listening to this, please don't cancel my order. But it's a great, as good price, couldn't beat it. I was like, you know what, I'll probably cancel it and order the collector's edition when it came out. But the collector's edition is like $200 something, and it's figures, and I'll just play the game. Thank you.
Yeah.
So then we got a really cool, just tonight, and it's fun. We were talking about this earlier. It's funny how these big news items and stuff seems to happen right before we record, but it looks like we got one of our followers on Twitter let us know about a Disney DuckTales 2017, the new stuff. It's going to have its own PVC figure collection, rubber figure collection at the Disney store. It's pretty soon, because one of the websites already has is selling a. And I don't know, these sets tend to be exclusive to the Disney store, so I don't know how they got a picture and is selling a set, but they should appear at the Disney store very soon for about $14.99. Sometimes Disney has deals where you can buy two sets and they're like $10 each from these PVC figures, because they seem to make them for all the different franchises. I wasn't really expecting a DuckTales one, but they knocked it out the park with these. The quality of them look really great.
Yeah, now these are the sets that are in the plastic case that they've always got on the multi-tiered stand, and it looks like if you go to pull the wrong one, the whole thing's going to come down.
I want a video of you doing that too. That'd be great.
Pulling them all down or trying to carefully pull one out?
Just go, hey Paisley, pull that one.
Grab the one on the bottom.
I'm going to video this, and then you grab that one.
Now these ones tend to not be posable, right? They're more stationary.
Yeah, these aren't posable.
These will look great on a shelf. They're not really action figure. They're just collectible figurines. It'd be cool. So these look really accurate. They kind of look like the claymation specials that they did for Halloween and Christmas with the characters. They look really great, and it's going to be cool to compare them to the Fat Mojo one coming up.
Yeah, they actually look like they have a similar pose to some of the Fat Mojo like promotional pictures that we found.
Yeah, that's why I put them in our notes beside one another, because if you look at them, Dewey and Webby and Louie are definitely the same or a similar pose. There's some paint applications that have changed, where their eyes are located and a few other things. It does look like Huey's is totally different because he's got the Woodchuck guidebook in the new picture, and Scrooge is definitely a different pose. So I included that because I'm kind of confused. I had thought these figures were from Fat Mojo, but I don't think the Disney store would be selling figures from Fat Mojo. I mean, so are these similar molds?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that that's because Fat Mojo has a license on the figure. So I was surprised to see them there, but maybe because they're rubber PVC non-articulated figurines, they can do that. But and they're different. They're a lot smaller than what Fat Mojo is going to come out with.
Yeah.
But Pink Pearl Apple made a great comment. She's going to use these for her birthday cake. I think these are perfectly sized to put on top of a birthday cake as a topper.
Yeah, we do that, or we've done that in the past for multiple birthdays where we bought. I remember when Aladdin was re-released, and they did a PVC box at Disney, and I believe it was Paisley's birthday. She wanted an Aladdin birthday party, and that's what we did. And we've done that, I think, with another set as well. So I would imagine, because the girls have already said they want DuckTales birthday parties, and Paisley is wanting a DuckTales backpack. So if anybody at Disney's got any pull, I need a DuckTales backpack before the school year.
They don't want a Disney Dan birthday cake or a Disney Dan party.
They probably would go for that.
Yeah, but this is I'm hoping to have like and because I know my kids would definitely want. And it's funny because your kids and my kids are totally different dynamics. As you have girls and I have boys, and they're different ages, and they would both have DuckTales party. That's how into it our kids are, and how great the show is.
I kind of want a DuckTales birthday party.
Yes, and Josh and Al and Violet will all DuckTales party. Well, sorry, I should have added. Whenever I talk about my kids and Mitch's kids, we'll talk about Violet and Michelle and you as well.
Yeah,
I would have a duck. You're right. I would have a DuckTales party.
We just missed it by a few days, I feel, for my birthday.
Yeah, maybe you'll get a do-over. Characters come out. Who knows?
Yeah, it would be nice when these are out. We don't know when they're out. Like you said, they are on some sites. Those sites are marking them up, and they're saying they have limited quantities. So expect to see these in the Disney store soon. I don't think it'll be much longer.
$14.99 is a great price. I only see if you look at them though. Do you have the picture? Look at it. There's a flaw.
What would you say?
If you look at the picture, there's only one flaw. It's missing Glom Gold. What the heck?
He'll be in the villain set that comes out later.
Yeah. I really hope Fat Mojo comes out with Glom Gold figure because I love the new redesign of him, and I would buy multiples and have him like one in my car on the dashboard and one at work, just so he can stare at me and tell me how I should work for Glom Gold Industries.
The best of the cheapest.
Yeah, the best of the cheapest. So, yeah, we need some more Glom Gold. Because I know they have that Scrooge McDuck Industry shirt that you got. I want a Glom Industry.
I do too. I will buy that. More Glom Gold. But on a side note, we were talking last week, Josh and I were talking about whether or not to include it in the podcast, and I wanted to give it a week. But we had posted earlier last week about, I remember back in the early days of the internet when message boards and all of that were still popular before Discord. Dating myself. But, I remember when there were fan sites and they would do weekly blogs that would include art from fans. So fans would send them the art and then they just post them together in, one place in one blog, and people could comment on them. And it allowed them to feature artists. So artists would include a link to wherever they feature their art and stuff. And I realized that nowadays everyone has DeviantArt or Tumblr or, someplace where they're already featuring their art. So maybe people just aren't as interested in having a fan site share their art or feature their art. But that's something I always enjoyed, was going through those posts and seeing people's art and getting an idea of, different stuff that people were doing and start following artists and stuff. And so that's something that we wanted, it's something that I wanted to do. And I think Pirates with me, that it would be something that'd be fun to put together, to have, let people email us, some of their art. It doesn't have to be high-res or anything because we're just putting it on the internet. I'm not wanting your art. And definitely watermark it. But, to be able to feature it and to feature you, because there's a lot of really great DuckTales artists that do a lot of really great fan art. So that's something we're interested in doing if we can get enough people sending, art in weekly to share. I think that'd be cool. I think, we're all about community. That's something we've talked about from the beginning of this podcast. We want the conversation to continue beyond the podcast. And that's why, Pirate was adamant about us moving to a live podcast. And that's why we have this chat going on right now. And we get to see people, talking about DuckTales and just creating a community. And I think another great way to do that is to have a way to showcase and to focus on those artists, because I love it. I'm constantly going through Twitter and Tumblr and finding art and sharing it on DuckTalks Twitter page, or on DuckTalks Twitter. So that's something I'd like to do. If any of you artists are interested in being involved in that, email me. You can just email me or direct message me if we follow you, or let me know we don't follow you and that you do DuckTales art, and we'll fix that. But, get in touch with me. We'd like to work something out, and we'll talk about the specifics of, I realize you want to protect your art, and I want to protect your art. I don't want to use it. I don't want to do anything with it other than, having a place where a DuckTales community can go and see who's doing DuckTales art. Hey, so one other item we've got two more items for Duck Merch, but just one thing to cover real quick. Tsum Tsums. For my birthday, I got a $25 Disney card. And I can't spend it on Tsum Tsums because they're not on the website. What's up with that? Have we seen anything? I haven't heard anything.
Now you know why I bought them available.
I do know why you bought them while they were available.
And I bought I had to buy them for all of the kids.
You bought like 20 of them. That's where they all went.
Bro.
I just think it's when Steve declares that he needs to buy them because they'll disappear, then they actually disappear.
Well, I was so worried about. Now they'll be restocked because I definitely don't see them going in the stores. You'll have to wait till they appear online. But yeah, those Tsum Tsums, once they discount them, I don't know how it takes for them to disappear. But we'll be like we do for everybody. We'll be on the lookout for you.
Yeah, well, I had a close call. I think I told Pirate about this. I had them in the shopping cart, and I hadn't pulled the trigger on it because I was like, okay, I'd like to either get free shipping or a good deal. And the good deal came around, and I don't remember why, but I missed it. And I was like, oh man, I was just disappointed. And then I got an email that they had free shipping. And I was like, I'm doing it. I'm just buying these. So I got on there. My shopping cart still had them in it. I was like, I'm going to get these with the free shipping. And they were marked down to the $3.95 in my shopping cart, or $3.94, whatever they were. And I had the free shipping. And I was like, I'm going to get them for like $20. And I was excited. And I went to purchase them, and they were all out of stock.
No.
No, wait.
Yeah,
let me add to that. I did get to the point where once I hit checkout, it refigured them to the $5 and whatever. But I was going to get the free shipping. I was like, okay, I'm still going to buy them. And then they were out of stock.
They have them on Disney Store UK, just a couple of the characters, and they're also discounted there.
I saw the Incredibles 2 ones in the store, and I was like, why can't they be DuckTales?
DuckTales, yeah.
I'd buy them if they were DuckTales. I don't want Incredibles.
And as you walk into your store, they're like, oh, it's the DuckTales guy. We don't have them.
They do. They're like, we don't have any new DuckTales stuff. How are you doing today?
They laugh at you.
Yes, they do. But yeah, we'll keep people. Something like that. We'll keep people updated as soon as I know. Well, as soon as I know and make my purchase, you'll know. That's my promise. That's my guarantee.
After you make your purchase, you'll tweet about it.
I will tweet it after I've made my purchase. All right, so we had a new episode of DuckTales out this week. So here's how we do our review. We're going to do a 30-second recap of the episode. Now, the person who's going to do that recap doesn't know they're going to do it yet because we choose it by random. The three of us are going to pick a number. I've got a random generator from the internet that we'll use to pull the number, and then that person will present a 30-second, and I got to get my stopwatch up so that I'm ready for that, but they will present a 30-second recap of the episode. After that, we'll talk about our favorite parts of the episode. And we're going to change things up because I'm going to pick the first number and choose one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not picking one. No, I'm going to choose number 2.
All right.
Okay.
Do I get to choose next or Steve?
No, you go ahead.
Well, since Mitch chose a different number, I'll choose number 1.
Your mic went out. What'd you say?
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I said, since Mitch chose a different number, then I'll choose a different number. So I'm going to choose number 1.
I'll choose 3.
All right. 3. And it is 1.
Oh! This is the episode that I only watched once, so...
Oh, that's right.
That's perfect, because I've seen it 8 times. Go.
Yeah, I've seen it 4. So here's I ask 2 things of you. Tell me when you're going to start. Actually, you don't have to tell me when you're going to start. Tell me when you stop, okay?
All
Just say
right.
done.
I'm gonna do my own little timer on my phone here because that way I have a gauge of
Okay.
where I'm at. So that because I'll just keep going. Let me see. Let me put the timer here. Stopwatch. All right, hold on. Let me give me a second here.
Good
Get
breath.
it all in my head. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
All right, and there we go. Scrooge and the kids get some buried treasure, and they're with a night out with I can't even think of the name of it, but she's staying the night, and Lena's trying to get the number one dime for her Aunt Magica, and Scrooge has to do damage control because the city's has got a lot of vines all over, so he's doing interviews, and the kids go swimming in the gold bin, and all of a sudden Jaws comes and eats all the kids and Launchpad, and then I'm already past 30 seconds, and Jaws goes crazy, and Scrooge stops him. All right, done.
First try. Great.
39 seconds. That was
39
bad.
seconds. No, that was awesome.
Forgot to mention Glom Gold is in
Yeah,
this
so
one.
I know.
we're adding 15
He is in
seconds
this.
for lack of Glom Gold.
All right, and Glom Gold's in the episode.
Oh, there it is.
All right, he got it.
Wow, you guys are so much better getting in the 30-second mark. I
The funny
got to
part
practice this.
It would have been him because it would have been the number one, which was Mitch. So
That's why
I
picked
know.
a different
Normally
number.
I pick
just felt it
3.
was
3
coming.
is my lucky number.
I think
I think that's hilarious. Oh, it was great. Thanks, Josh. All right, so there's our recap. What'd you guys think of the episode?
I would have to say that the buddy system, Beware the Buddy System, is still my number one episode of the season. This is like 1B. This is that good. I think that because this episode was like the Avengers Infinity War. It had every single character that we love from all the episodes. Like I've always said, a Launchpad episode is great. If you had Donald in it, who had for a little bit, and Glom Gold had all the kids, Lena, Magica, Scrooge. I mean, this had every single character, and each one had like a great line to deliver. And all the Jaws parody and homage lines was great. I thought Glom Gold appearing at the very end dressed like Steven Spielberg was hilarious. Yeah, it was a great episode. Launchpad's lines were funny about how it's a continuation of he really is Dewey's best friend, which was mentioned in 2 other episodes.
Uh-huh.
So like how they're linking it together and they're not just saying it in episodes. It kind of all makes sense. And I love how he's like, I need to avenge my best friend Dewey
And his brothers, because he thinks more of Dewey.
When he says, "Oh no, Dewey's brothers."
Yeah, and then he's like, "I want me to crash into it."
Yeah, I love that line. That's that's I'm making a shirt that says, "I'm just going to crash it."
Yeah, I mean it's just it's a boat in the money bin, which is hilarious in itself. I love it's Donald's house that they happened to drop in there while he was sleeping, and
I love that part of that scene because you've got Donald out on a tube floating in the water, and the boat just gets pulled off by a helicopter, and that's funny enough. But then when they set the boat down in the money, and Launchpad comes sliding down the rope, and the helicopter leaves, and the boys are just looking up at the helicopter like, "Wait a minute, something's not right."
And I love how the Magica was great in this. They give her more talking lines, and I love how they named the shark as a name. It's Tiffany, and then Tiffany grows legs at the end. I think that is hilarious, and this is a great episode.
It's just so absurd that it works. I loved what we got with Magica. We've got more Magica in this one episode than we've had over the entire season so far. And I think the next time we see Magica, we're probably going to get even more. But I really like the art and how they how they presented the character, because when we first, come across her again in this episode, it's in the bathroom, and just the way that Lena gets away from Webby and goes to the bathroom to brush her teeth because that's important to Webby. And Magica, the way that she forms and like grows in size and takes up most of the screen and kind of bullies Lena around a little bit. Just she's a shadow, so what is she going to do? But you really get a sense of a creature or a person who is really just evil and funny.
I thought it was kind of interesting with Lena in this episode. Whenever she wanted to use her magic, she glowed kind of that like reddish purpley color, like she had before when she had her that amulet. And when they were doing that spell, like the first time where Webby has that spell book, and they're like, "Oh, the power of friendship," and she kind of changed to like a lighter blue color. And then later on in the episode, when she performed that spell to get rid of the giant, I guess Tiffany, the shark, she, instead of glowing that other color, she glowed that lighter blue color. And it's kind of, to me, shows the different, like the light side versus the dark side version of magic, and how I guess maybe her personality in that episode changes from thinking only about herself to thinking about others. Just kind of brought that the good side of magic through her, and I thought that was kind of interesting way of displaying that in the character in this episode.
There are also a lot of great Webby moments in this episode, and you reminded me of one of them early in the episode when Lena's asking about magic or talking about magic, and Webby's like, "Scrooge forbids all magic from the premises. He thinks it's a shortcut to hard work ethic. You want to see what I snuck into the mansion?" And she pulls out that
point.
spell book.
I asked the DuckTales crew, and nowhere to go back to me. Sorry. But I asked them, when she opens that chest, there's a Perry the Platypus looking robot toy there, a green toy with a bill, and I was like, that looks like Perry the Platypus. So I don't know if that is an official hidden object.
Paisley caught that as well. She brought that up.
Yeah, and the other thing that was really cool was when Webby comes on the scene in the intro. There's this big statue head,
yes,
and that looks very familiar, like it's the Amazon boss from the DuckTales NES game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is an absolute true Easter egg. I think you caught a good one there.
Yeah, and I could totally now that they're bringing in the DuckTales NES Easter eggs, can't wait for a space episode, because they're going to bring in the space theme song from game as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really liked all of the Jaws moments, because there are a ton of them. I want to go back and watch Jaws now, because it's been a while since I've seen it, just to see if I can pick out what scenes, because when they're chumming, they're talking, they're throwing out the really good stuff, and there's a scene with Louie at the back of the boat throwing something over, and the shark comes up right next to the boat and he scampers away. That's straight out of Jaws, and there's so many of those moments in the show.
You need to make that one, Josh.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll make that one.
There was another one.
And then the other part was funny was so they shoot the harpoon with the money to try to weigh it down, like in Jaws, where they shoot him with the barrels to try to keep him above the water. And
then it gets wrapped around Huey's foot, and that's when they go flying, or I guess his web foot. And they go flying out into the money, and that's when Launchpad says, "Oh no, Dewey's brothers."
And that was, and I mean, that's just the shark scenes. The whole interview with Scrooge McDuck was really funny. When the newscaster is bringing up, what part of Ireland are you from?
Those facial expressions on Scrooge McDuck were some of my favorite, and I'm trying to decide if that's going to be the cover art for this episode, or if Magica is going to be the cover art. What do the people in the chat think? I know the chat's been talking with us. They've been talking a lot about Webby Dings. but I'm looking for it.
You have Miss Beakley squirting him with the water.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about that moment earlier.
And that's a fun part because, she's doing a great job of giving him a hard time. And he's going on about, they love me. Everything's fine. It'll be fine. I'll be able to handle this. And she does the whole Ireland bit.
He winks at her.
Yeah. But someone in the chat mentioned the moment where Huey says that facts. Where was it? Oh, facts comfort me when I'm nervous. Huey had some great lines in this episode as well.
I like at the beginning where Scrooge is beans, a magical fruit, and then Dewey's like, I've been singing it wrong this whole time.
So did you sing the song for your boys? Or did they already know it?
They already know it.
Nah, they haven't heard that yet.
My girls don't know it, and my wife wouldn't let me sing it. She interrupted me. I got in trouble the Christmas that I taught them the Batman song. Jingle bells.
Oh yeah. Try. I was driving my kids and my nephew and niece to school in December, and I introduced them to the Mr. Hanky song, and they went home and told my sister all about Mr. Hanky, and I had to get a phone call about it.
Yeah, one of my girls, I can't remember which one of them got in trouble for saying "suck gas, evildoers" one time. And I was like, that's nothing to get in trouble about. Listen, you just don't understand this family. So yeah, someone in the chat also brought up Tokes. We were talking about Miss Beakley and the voice actress. I don't know if you guys have had an opportunity to watch the live reading yet of Mick Mystery at McDuck McManor. But she did a fabulous job of voicing Ma Beagle in that, and I really like how she was able to change her voice to sound like, it's obvious that it's still her, or it's not obvious, I'm pretty sure it was still her, but she sounded just like the newscaster.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about how her voice changed when she was like doing the practice with Scrooge. At first, I thought that he already had started the interview, but then they were practicing they had the same exact almost questions that she brought up because she thought, oh, I'm gonna say this to see how Scrooge reacts, but then the reporter brings up the Ireland, like where are you from Ireland and stuff like that.
And then when they cut back to him, he's explaining the difference. Yeah. How about Launchpad?
Well, I like how Launchpad. We could go about Launchpad the whole episode, but when he's like, "Oh, you missed the orphanage," when he's cutting up the beanstalk.
Yeah. Good news, Mr. McD.
And then, like, Glomgold's office is destroyed, and I was like, "I'm glad that he got his office."
I was not expecting Glomgold in this episode, but he's like the cherry on top of every episode that he shows up in.
Every single line he delivered, and he's and Scrooge McDuck's like, "You can't believe him. He tried to blow up my house twice this week, not the third time."
If you
right now, third
time is right now. Oh, it didn't work. And he's the Reaper in Overwatch, so he is. Keith Ferguson is awesome. We need to get you on the show, Mr. Ferguson, if you're listening to this.
And we had a bunch of villain cameos there at the end of the episode when the money's flying around and everyone's showing up and Scrooge is trying to act like it's not bothering him while he's on cameras.
The Beagle Boys.
Yeah, I like how they were saying it's for the citizens of Duckburg, and it's just the Beagle Boys and Glomgold.
They just come piling in.
Yep, hack and slash.
Jason Marsden.
I feel like we definitely need to get some Tiffany merchandise now. I think that Fat Mojo can make a big Tiffany shark.
Well, Funko could do it. That sounds like something Funko would do.
Tiffany Funko Pop.
Surely, I mean, haven't they already done a Jaws?
No, they haven't actually.
Oh.
It's a shark. They've done Sharknado.
Yeah, I think that's the only shark one that I've seen.
That's surprising. They need to do a Bruce.
Oh, you're right. They have Bruce too. Bruce the shark. But they could make the Target 10-inch line of Tiffany.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Mm.
See, I hope Funko listens to this podcast because we just throw out great ideas all day long.
Yeah, we're giving it. It's like we're giving it.
Last week,
I think
we
the
talked
only
about
thing
the
that
Ghost
Funko
Duckworth.
has done for Jaws is they did the reaction figures for them, but they didn't do actual pops.
I'm sure it's coming. It's coming at some point.
I've seen Jaws on shelves recently, like on an end cap at a store. So it might be getting a merchandise advertising comeback here in the next few weeks. Which is exactly why we would have an episode of DuckTales that tied in. Because does Disney own them too? It's Universal, right?
It just sounds like we're about to
Oh, try that again, guys. I don't know if it's my internet connection tonight or what, but you both were like robotic. All right, anything else for this episode? I did miss whatever you guys were saying last. Okay. Did you have anything else about the episode?
Well, Pink Pearl Apple says that there should be a Funko Ghost Duckworth.
Mm.
That'd be a good glow in the dark action.
Yeah, I like the idea of using the the Jedi.
Yeah.
Where they do the translucent.
They haven't done any of the 2017 versions of DuckTales in Funko form yet. I'm sure it's coming, but I would love a mystery mini series, to be honest, to start it off with. I'm
really loving the mystery minis more than the pops for a lot of reasons. But I like that it kind of has its own design to it, as the pop does too. But it seems like the pop's more of a everything has to fit into a specific mold, whereas the mystery minis kind of give a little bit more, and each line is a little bit different. Those Mickey minis look really good. I've definitely got my eye on 4 of them.
Yeah, and it's great that you'll be able to see what's in the box before you buy it.
Yeah, is it true? Josh said that means they probably will charge more. Do you think that's true?
Oh, I don't know.
They'll be $6.99 still, or $5.99 depending where you go. But then you have to find it. What if everybody wants a Steamboat Willie?
Right.
It's true. And I wonder if certain ones will be rare to find because I think there's 12 in a box, but there's only 10 figures?
No, there's 12.
Is there 12?
It's probably 1 to 12 ratio.
Well, that's good.
Okay, then it's just 1 for each character in the box.
Now, did that leak, or did that was that like official?
Yeah, they haven't officially announced it yet. So it's they sent it to a retailer, and a retailer put it out there.
Okay. All right. Anything else about the episode?
No, I feel like I don't know where this one is in your top 5 or 10 episodes of DuckTales this season, but I feel like at the end of the season we'll have to do a top 5 episodes for different things we like from the season.
Yeah, that or maybe top 5 moments. I have a hard time with the episodes because I'm with you. Like, Beware the Buddy System is still my top, and Lucky Gander is still near my top. But I do think this one, like you said, 1B, it's very possible this could be 1B. I just really enjoyed this episode.
I feel like Lucky Gander got knocked down 1 peg for this. But if they keep on knocking it out of the park every episode, I mean, I feel like we're going to feel like our top 5 is set, and then we're going to get to the season finale. And I feel like the season finale, because it seems to be like 2 Magica type episodes. I feel like the payoff's gonna be so huge for those 2 episodes that I feel like we're gonna have to renumber our top 5 at that point.
Yeah.
It's very possible because I feel like every episode is better in many ways.
I mean, if the last episode has something like Della comes back to defeat Magica, then it's going, oh my god, that was the best episode.
Yeah. What if we get Della at the expense of another character, though?
Oof.
Oh, as long as it's not Glomgold, Launchpad, we're good. I'm surprised how many Glomgold appearances we've seen so far, but I'm loving every bit of it. I think we need.
Well, I like that we don't. He's not prominently featured in every episode, but he's always got a place in a lot of episodes. Obviously, not all of them, but Kahuna Potato, don't say things like that. She put Dewey gets replaced by Della, and then she marked it out. That's my Daryl right there. If they ever kill off Daryl, we riot. Don't get rid of my Dewey. But also
you gotta think Della merchandise will come after that whenever she's revealed.
I'm really interested in finding out more about Della. I'd like to see some more in the comics. We've not had any of those flashbacks in a while. Although Della is mentioned in Story B of the comics this week. And it's a pretty big deal that she's mentioned. It's a lot of fun. If you've not picked up IDW's DuckTales number 9, there's some motivation. Kahuna says, I need Pilot Mom merch.
Pilot Mom merch.
Pink Pearl Apple says, Last Crash of the Sun Chaser is a Della episode. I think it has to be because there's not any other episodes that scream that they could be about Della other than, something in the finale. Well, we've had a lot of fun on this episode. We've covered a lot of material, and I've got a lot to edit. But it's
this
fun.
This episode will come out next week sometime.
Yes, at some point next week. With the longer episodes, it's really hard to get it done in 2 days, but we'll see. Definitely before the new episode comes out. But it's really fun to have everyone in the chat, and so thank you all for being with us. I see the chat's pretty. We've got quite a few. I see Lloyd's joined us. Hey, Lloyd. And so, yeah, we've got quite a few in here, and we've had a good time. Appreciate everyone showing up and participating. The conversation's been fun. We didn't mention everything that was being talked about in the chat, but they were having a good time on their own at some points, and I enjoyed seeing the conversation. So check out DuckTalks.com, where we're going to add a page that includes the instructions on how to join us in the chat so that in the next episode that we do live, maybe next week, you can join us and participate. Until then, you can find us at DuckTalks.com. You can also find us on Twitter at DuckTalks. You can find us individually. I am at Infinirama616.
Pirate Steven at the Pirate Steven.
You can find me at CCRunner524.
Oh, you got it. And that was Josh.
That's Josh, yes.
Again, we appreciate you listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please give us a review or a rating on your podcatcher of choice. And you can always don't forget about Res TV, our Discord. We'll have a link for that so that you can find us and be involved next week in the next live recording. If it is next week, we'll let you know. It will be. So until next time.
Good night, guys.
DuckTalks is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, or audio clips played on this podcast are the property of their copyright holders.
Just brought it up. There you go.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting. All right, here we go. I pushed record a while back, so this is all going in the bloopers.
Bloopers.
More like the highlights.
The highlight reel.
The highlights are at the end.
That's why you join a live show, to hear the highlights.
That's what we were telling them earlier, because there was about 15 minutes of conversation that was cut out of last week's episode. So the people who were in the live chat got to experience that. Now, whether it was worth it or not, I cannot say, but it was there. Quantity over quality.
Well, that's good that they enjoy it.
What's not to love about a bunch of guys talking about DuckTales?
I couldn't come up with anything. I tried, but
Oh. I guess I should intro you guys. Let's do that. Hold on. Did I say my name earlier? I don't think I did.
no, you just admitted to being old. That's it.
Well, I did turn 36.
Damn.
Yeah. Let it be on the record that Mitch admitted being old, but we haven't.
And he's 2 months younger than Pirate. Just so everyone knows. Okay. This is a live show, so it's a little crazy. We have a lot of fun with it, considering this is our second week doing it. I got to moderate something on WordPress, apparently. Huh.
You don't have to do it right now.
I'm not. I had my notifications on and didn't realize it. So, but I didn't hear you earlier. I don't know how that happened. All right. Anyway, really don't know how to throw my name out there, so we're just going to try it. Magica's brother's daughter. Let me try that again. It's definitely possible that Lena. What's his name? Poe. We've got everyone else muted. It's just us on the voice, so you can listen in and talk with us on the chat, but you don't have to worry about your mic. Thanks, though. I'll edit that out. Other than your introduction will be there. We'll add this to it. How's it going? And then I'll cut out the pause, so you don't have to worry about it. You can type at your own pace. You're not on the spot. Okay, maybe just hurry it a little bit. Oh, I caused stage fright. Sorry. All of that will be gone. Giving up on
Did I
outros?
do it wrong again?
I was laughing into my pillow because I just love when you make mistakes. It's so funny.
Just stick it in there. I can just pull one of the old ones.
The next episode.
Too bad you didn't have those instructions on how to join Discord for Steve today.
Here, I'm recording right now. You can edit. Thanks for listening. Woohoo.
Hey, Pink Pearl Apple says that she had fun. We appreciate it. We had fun too. I think people are ready for bed. I saw someone mention it's midnight, and it is midnight. So
It's dinner time for me. I gotta make some dinner.
All right, talk to you. 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 All right, talk to you.